In this video, we're going to work on constructing angles and parallel lines. So remember, whenever we see the word construct, we know we're not going to measure, as tempting as it is to just use the protractor or the ruler of our straight edge compass. We want to make sure that we're using the arcs, and we have to indicate those arcs throughout our construction. So we're going to first start with constructing an angle. So we're given angle A here. Remember, angles are indicated by their vertex, the corner piece. We're going to create a new angle at R. So the first thing we need to do is recreate one of the sides of this angle. So just with your straight edge, we're going to just draw in any line from point R. You can go in any direction, any length. Because remember, lines or rays, they go on infinitely long. So it really doesn't matter the length. We just care about having it pass through point R. So I first have that line. That's our first step to recreating this angle. The second step will be to create an arc from the first angle A. So to create this arc, we're going to show that the clear piece is at A, and we can stretch out any amount. I'm going to go just in about this much here. And we want to make it so that there's an arc that intersects both parts of the angle. So notice I have two intersections right now. When you're constructing, you don't have to label these points, but just to help us see exactly what we're doing throughout this construction, we're going to label these points B and C. Now, without changing the width of my compass, I'm going to go over to R with the clear point and make sure to recreate that same exact arc. So without changing, I want to have my intersection, and I want to go a little bit further. Since we haven't changed the radius, we haven't changed that distance between, we're going to label this point here as S. Now, the next part here, when we're constructing, is to find out exactly how far apart this angle is. So we can go to either of the intersection pieces, B or C, and we're going to have the clear piece at one intersection, and we're going to shrink down here so that our compass length is of this arc here, BC. Now remember, these arcs shown on the original angle, those are necessary for full credits, the equivalent of us showing work. And now, that point that we labeled as S, that intersection, we're going to make an arc from there to make sure it intersects with our new formed angle. Okay. This intersection is going to be the point T, and we're going to draw in the line segment from R, passing through what we will label as T. Again, it does not matter the exact length of that line segment, because technically angles are made up of two rays. They go on infinitely forever from that point into the direction. So we just have the angle there shown. Okay. Now remember, you don't have to worry about making those pieces congruent in any way, but we just want to recreate that exact angle. We're going to do the same thing here for exercise 2, only this time we haven't been given any point, but we're just going to create a copy of the angle W that's shown. Notice it's an obtuse angle because we can tell that it's larger than 90 degrees. So to start this off, we just want to draw in any line or ray anywhere on our page. Since we're creating a new angle, I'm just going to label this point as W prime. Just because this is going to be the image of our original, but we're going to follow all the same steps. So to start off this construction, we start with the clear piece of our compass at W. First step is to make an arc. Only thing that has to happen when we make that arc is we want to intersect both points. So each ray has an intersection. Now it's important to go over to W prime and make sure that that same arc is built. Since we're making an obtuse angle, we want to make sure that we're on the larger side of this kind of right here, because we know it is going to pass somewhere along this area. Once we have that, we want to take the measurements of how far apart the angle is. So start at either point. So we take one intersection and we're going to stretch so that we have the exact length of our intersections into our compass. Remember, we show that arc. That arc's so important for us to get full credit in our construction. From there, from the intersection we made on our new angle, we'll make an arc, and that's exactly where this angle is going to pass through. So from the original point W, we draw a line that passes through our angle. If you ever want to double check that you have the right angle intact, you can use the measurement tool on top just to double check, but remember, you have to show these construction marks. These are what get you full credit when we're copying an angle. Okay. Take a second and try to construct angle T. It's an acute angle. It's less than 90 degrees. Now, moving on to the next side of our sheet, we're going to use copying an angle to help us make a parallel line. So in this construction for exercise 4, we want that we're given the line M and we're given a point A. We would like to construct a line parallel to M that passes through this point A. Now realize that parallel lines should never intersect. So we're looking for a line that's going to pass through horizontally, similar to M. The first part of our construction is to draw a straight line that passes through A and intersects M. Now, we definitely know this can't be parallel. There would be no way there could be an intersection for parallel lines, but we want this line here to kind of help us. From there, we're going to take our compass tool and we're going to start with our clear piece here at that intersection of the two. And when we do that, we're going to make an arc, same as before when we're copying the angle, that has two intersections. Now remember, A is the point that we want to pass through, so we're going to use that. We're going to slide our compass up to A, and we're going to make an arc that touches that line and goes a little further. Now, if you run into the issue where you don't have an intersection here, that just means your line wasn't drawn long enough. So you can just extend this line, or your arc was too big here. That's fine too. Again, if you don't have an intersection, just add to your line. Lines are infinitely long, so it's okay if yours just didn't touch it first. Now we're going to copy that angle, that original angle. So we start with our clear piece at either intersection point for this bottom part. So we have our clear piece indicated at the intersection. I'm going to stretch my compass. And I have to show that mark again. This mark is so important to us. But now we're just going to slide up to the intersection that was on top. And we're going to intersect the arc here. Now that we have these two intersections shown, the last step is to draw our straight line. Now to draw a line, we need at least 2 points, but remember it should pass through A and through our intersection, such as a line like this. Now the reason why this construction works for us, if you notice, we use the same construction we just used. This angle that was here has been copied right onto here. The reason why this works is because think about what kind of angles these are. One is located inside, and one's located outside the parallel lines. So inside the parallel lines is here, one outside. These are known as corresponding angles. And parallel lines have congruent corresponding angles. So explain why the side of the newly constructed angle does not intersect M. It must be parallel to it. What we would write in here is we copied congruent corresponding angles. So anytime we have those corresponding angles, that's how we can prove that parallel lines exist. So for C, that's what you'd be writing in there, is that we have congruent corresponding angles that have been copied. Exercise 5 is just 2 examples where we get to practice that. So you can practice that construction the same way we just did. But remember, there is one additional way that we can construct parallel lines. It's a method that we've already used in the past. So the method we've already used so far has been a rotation of 180 degrees. Now, in this construction, the problem is we don't have any points given to us, but we want a parallel line to A. So what we would have to do first is just give yourself 2 points. And they can be anywhere you'd like. So when I label these, I could have a point here. And let's say it's B. And a point down here that we can label C. And your points could be in different locations along this picture. But I'm just going to go up and grab my compass tool and bring that back down. So what we are going to do is just construct a 180 degree rotation. Remember, when we're doing this construction, we always start with the clear piece at A, the point we are rotating around. Remember though, our goal is to be counterclockwise. So we want to go around in this direction, at least more than halfway around the arc, because halfway indicates half a circle. A full circle would be a full rotation of 360. So half of that is 180 degrees. We also know that a straight line is 180 degrees. So this point that we started at, through A, through this arc, that's going to be the new point that we're going to call B prime. Now, we do the same exact construction for the additional point. We start with our clear piece at A. We stretch over so that C is in the width of our compass. And we go in the counterclockwise direction. I'm going to connect from C through A to the purple arc, the second one we did, because that's the one where C is moving to. And we'll label that as C prime. To finish this off, our construction is just going to pass through those 2 points. So from C prime through B prime. And as I straighten my lines out so that they hit the 2 intersections, we have parallel lines. So that's just another way you could construct parallel lines. Be sure to go back and try the middle exercise number 5, and just fill in those constructions as we practice. If you need to, go back to the constructions previously done in the video. Thanks for watching.